We are live. What's up, geeks and gamers? It's Jeremy coming to you with another video. And today, I am joined by the white male Christian himself, Josiah from Josiah Rises. What's up, Josiah?
Not much. I'm glad I can grace you with my holy presence, and it's just I'm really glad to be here. I have my cotton candy, so I'm all set.
Wow.
I'm all set to do whatever we're gonna do tonight. I don't know what we're doing, but
Well, Josiah just called me after his second viewing, and we're talking. But before we even talked about really our opinions of the movie, because we really haven't talked about it, I said, "Hey, you want to go live?" He's like, "Okay." So I was like, "Let's go live." So we have not really discussed our feelings of the movie. I have seen it once. I gave my non-spoiler thoughts, and I said before I'm going to give a definitive answer on the movie. I want to see it again, and I'm going to go try to go see it again tomorrow. But I have been thinking a lot about it, and if you remember, my initial reaction after I saw the movie was that I enjoyed it, but it had a lot of problems, and I had a lot to think about. I've been thinking a lot since the movie, and I got some thoughts. Okay, I got some feelings. I got some feelings.
I don't know what direction you're going here, but I'm excited to hear what you have to say. So
yeah, all right. So all right, Josiah, I'm gonna let you start since you're fresh off your second viewing.
Okay.
Let us have it. You and just to qualify you, you are the resident MCU fanboy here at Geeks and Gamers. You love this universe. This is your Star Wars.
That's right.
You have the floor, my friend.
Okay. Well, yeah, this is gonna be kind of a special preview for you guys because I'm gonna be talking about this on my my stream on my channel tomorrow, so you guys can join me there if you want. But I have to be completely honest here. I enjoyed the movie a lot more on the second viewing. As you all know, if you saw my review for it, I was not really a big fan of the first half of this movie on my first viewing. I had a lot of issues with it, and it just I was not really on board with what the Russo brothers were doing, especially the time travel stuff. But on my second viewing, the movie just really came together a lot more. It was a lot more connected on my second viewing, and it made a lot more sense, and everything really fit together a lot better. And I appreciated what the Russo brothers did a lot more on the second viewing. It just, I even the first half I enjoyed way more on my second viewing, and it was just so cool, you know. Looking at the movie now, knowing what happens later on in the movie, it was so cool seeing how they set everything up in the first half and how it all came together. And I really appreciated it a lot more. So, so I guess that's just kind of my general thoughts about it. There were some things like, honestly, on my first viewing, I was not a fan of the whole fat Thor thing, and I thought that they did a pretty cruddy job with Thor as a character. But I actually appreciated him a lot more on the second viewing. Pretty much before he had his discussion with his mom and stuff, he was, kind of a wuss bag, and he just wasn't really the Thor that I knew and have grown to love so much. And but then, like, I was kind of paying attention more on my second viewing here, and after he had his conversation with the mom, he really actually did kind of pick himself up in a lot of ways, and he actually was he bolstered the rest of the team quite a bit throughout the rest of the film. So that was pretty cool to kind of notice more on the second viewing as well. But those are kind of just my general thoughts about it. Like I said, as you all know, I was not very fond of the first half, but it really just came together a lot better with the second viewing. So
okay. Yeah. So yeah, and again, my initial spoiler-free review, I talked about I enjoyed it, but there were a lot of problems I had with it. It's a mess. It's kind of everywhere, yada yada yada. So I didn't go into any specifics. Now I'm going to go into specifics. There is one huge problem I have with this movie, and it has hurt my. Now again, I still need to see it again. And these are the types of movies that you have all this anticipation, and you theorize, and you think about, like, want to see this or want to see that, yada yada yada. Yeah. And I have a huge problem with this movie the more I've been thinking about it, and I have several problems with it, but there's one huge problem I have with this movie, and the more I think about it, the more it frustrates me, and that is Thanos.
Mm.
In Infinity War, Thanos is one of the great villains of all time. I put Thanos up there with Heath Ledger's Joker, with Darth Vader. I think Thanos is an all-time great villain in Infinity War. The fact that I didn't get post-Infinity War Thanos to stand on the battlefield with the Avengers when they all came back so he could witness that his greatest triumph actually was his greatest failure pisses me off so bad, because he didn't care. He didn't know who they were when they came back. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't know. So there was no connection. You know what I mean? There was no connection. So when he's standing there on the battlefield and they all come and return, like, okay, he sees a bunch of people showing up, but he doesn't understand the true context of that. And that frustrates the F out of me, because I'm like, ugh. Now, again, and I love Thanos. I was pulling for Thanos, but yeah, man, like when he's standing there, there's no weight to it. There's no connection to it. There's no bond between, and I used bond loosely, but I mean, you know what I mean? There's nothing that connects him to these people and their anger and what he's done. And it kills me that happened. And yeah, man, so that's my biggest problem with the movie. Now, we'll get into some of the lesser problems I had, and that is Thor. Now, again, I found Thor to be hilarious at first.
Yeah.
The whole thing with Thor was absolutely hilarious. But we're in a movie where Tony Stark can go back in time and talk to his dad. We're in a movie where Captain America can go back in time and fight Captain America. We're in a movie where all of these things are taking place. Can I get a lightning strike for Thor so he can get his muscles back when he's on the battlefield fighting Thanos? Like, can I get just some type of magic for Thor? Because when he's fighting there on the end and he's like he's Pillsbury Doughboy Thor, I'm like, this doesn't.
Oh, I hated that.
The fact that he turns it over to Valkyrie, like, so, like, that's Thor's send off, like,
yeah,
you know.
I did not like that either. I really did not.
And let me say one more. And Hulk, again, I found Hulk to be extremely entertaining. I found Hulk to be amazing. I loved what they were doing with Hulk, but Hulk needed his redemption after what happened to him in the beginning of Infinity War. And I don't even care. I wouldn't even have cared if it was pre-Infinity War Thanos. I still wanted to see Hulk beat that ass. And Hulk was yeah, man, he was soy. He was soy.
That was I think that was one of my biggest problems with this movie, was that we never had a rematch between Hulk and Thanos. That was a huge missed opportunity with this film. I love the fact that he used he was the one that used the gauntlet to snap everyone back. I thought that was really good that they gave that to Hulk. I mean, it kind of just makes sense because he's pretty much the only one that could handle that power. But it was just like that. I don't know how you can miss not putting a rematch in there between Hulk and Thanos. Like, how do you miss that? I mean, like, and yeah, I agree with you. It was kind of weird not seeing anything between, like, you know, Hulk becoming Professor Hulk, and like how did Hulk and him finally make up with each other and kind of merge like that? We never saw anything of that. So that was kind of weird as well. And I think that what they should have done was they should have made that part of his story throughout the movie. Maybe give a little bit more of that, where they kind of show, you know, Hulk coming back out and kind of facing that fear and stuff. I think that would have been a much better thing. You know, save Professor Hulk for maybe the next time Hulk shows up or something. But in this film, I think that what they should have done is they should have had, you know, Hulk kind of facing his fear and coming back out again, and then have him have a really epic rematch with Thanos at the end there. That would have been fantastic, I think.
Yeah, so. And I mean, and again, I don't have a lot. There was a lot that I liked about the movie, so I want to make sure I qualify that. But the more I'm thinking about my problems are starting to affect, the things I enjoyed about the movie. And, again, this is a movie that they did a phenomenal job of the marketing campaign because none of us knew what direction this movie was going in.
Yeah.
And what's up, Mike? As a matter of fact, I need to respond. If you want to come on here for a live stream this week, I can get you on here, man, and we can talk about your Indiegogo, buddy. Sorry I didn't respond to you on Twitter, but I will. We can talk about that. I will send you a private message back, my friend. I'm sorry I didn't get back to you. All right, so yeah, so there's a lot that I really enjoyed about this movie. When it starts out, we get Hawkeye with his family. We all knew what was going to happen in that scene. We all knew where that was going, but it still was really, tough to watch.
Yeah.
Even though we knew what was going to happen, it was still tough to watch. But I didn't like how that happens. And then all of a sudden, this kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy style music starts playing. And then we kind of move right into a Tony Stark joke. I just felt like tonally that was the wrong kind of thing to kind of shift to. I was just like, I wish we could have got a little more time to sit on our emotions after that happened. You know what I mean? But either way, moving into it, I didn't love that Captain Marvel showed up to save Tony, but whatever it is, what it is, it didn't drive me crazy or anything like that. But her whole entry felt weird because like she flies down there and like she just kind of walk. They don't even ask who she is. They're just like, "Hey, what's up? Hey, come on in." And it's just like, what? They're not even. They don't even like. Who are you? Where are you from? What's going on? I mean, she just like Thanos just snapped half the fucking world, and this chick just comes flying in with Tony Stark, and nobody's like, "Hey, who are you again? And why should we be having these discussions with you right now?"
Right, exactly.
Like, it just was so weird, man.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, man.
It was. Now again, I didn't hate Captain Marvel in the movie. I thought there were some really good moments with Captain Marvel. They were. I take that back. Good moments. There were some non-cringeworthy moments with Captain Marvel, is what I would say.
Someone really described it really well with every scene that Captain Marvel was in. It was kind of like when the phone rings during sex. It's like everything is working so well, and then suddenly she just shows up and is like, "Oh man, really?" Like that's how I felt during the final fight. Like I actually didn't have as much of a problem with her being the beginning of the movie, but when she showed up in the final fight, I was so intense during that final fight. I was gripping my chair. I was like, "Oh man, this is crazy." The barrage is just going down on everyone, and then suddenly she flies out of wherever she comes from and just flies right through Thanos' ship, takes that thing out of the sky. That the tension, you could feel the tension in the theater just sink.
Yeah, but I guess, and people are reminding me that that Captain Marvel, the in credit scene actually explained that, and I did see that in credit scene. I guess I just forgot about it because I didn't care. So point to you guys. I just truly, I watched that in credit scene because somebody told me that was going to be the only thing really that was relevant from Captain Marvel. So I did watch that scene. I guess I just quickly forgot about it.
Credit scene was what?
So it's when it's when Fury and all. Or I think is it Fury? I can't remember. I've seen it, but I don't really remember this. When she's interacting with the Avengers, though, in that end credit scene. But I just don't care. So anyway, Brie Larson was not all time terrible, but I have a lot more to say about the future of the MCU a little bit later about how that's going to impact this because. Yeah. But one thing I want to say real quick, and this is kind of an overarching theme of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So if you look back, all right, and I challenge somebody, and if you can come at me and challenge what I'm going to say, I welcome it. I'm not saying my answer is definitive, but if you go back to Iron Man 1 all the way to the end of EndGame, one actor portraying a character, that has to be probably the greatest arc I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark is probably the single greatest arc I've ever seen. And now I'm not saying, like, I didn't really like Iron Man 2 or 3, but if you gotta look at where he was in the beginning of Iron Man and what Iron Man 1 helped create with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Then you go into Iron Man 2, okay movie. Iron Man 3, not that good. But then you have Civil War, you have Homecoming, you have Infinity War, and you have Endgame. Am I missing anything?
Age of Ultron as well.
Age of Ultron, yeah, Age of Ultron. And so, I mean, you look at everything that Tony Stark has went through, and I did like Age of Ultron. I can't believe I forgot it, but
yeah,
I got to say that's the single. Yes, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine is a very good one, but there were so many like the Wolverine is not good in my opinion at all. And X-Men 3 was so painfully bad, and even though I like X-Men Origins, it's not a good movie, and it didn't do anything to help the character. Like even in Iron Man's bad movies, and none of them are really bad per se, they're just not great. But even the ones that aren't great, he's still unbelievably fantastic.
Yeah.
So
and, I mean, even with like Tony Stark's character arc, I think it completely overshadows Wolverine's. Just like if you look at where he started off with and like the first Iron Man movie to where he ended up in Endgame, where he was, you know, in the first Iron Man movie, he was basically just a playboy douchebag and didn't care about anything. And then by the end of Endgame, he has a wife, he has a kid, he sacrifices his life for everyone else. It's just like it's super powerful seeing where he ends up.
And we almost have 1,000 people watching. Hello, everyone. This is Jeremy. Josiah, make sure you drop a link in your to your channel in the chat. I want you guys to go subscribe to Josiah Rises to his channel. So we are discussing in-game spoilers. I'll give you a quick little recap on some of my issues. Smash the melee button if you don't mind. We have Proper Jeremy here in the chat, better known as Proper Jenny for right now. Smash the melee button if you don't mind. Share the video. So we're talking about in-game, and I have seen it once. Josiah has seen it twice. Josiah is the resident MCU fanboy. I see we have some super chats. I'm going to get to those in just a moment. But a couple things here, and that is my biggest problem with the movie was Thanos. And the reason I say my biggest problem was Thanos is because I thought Thanos was an all-time great villain in Infinity War. I think he's an all-time great, and I love Infinity War so much. It's one of my favorite movies ever. Yeah. And I'm really upset that Thanos did not get to experience his greatest triumph actually was his greatest failure, because post-Infinity War Thanos was not standing on that battlefield when everybody showed back up. There was no context to what he saw. There was no context to it. He didn't have any context to the character or to the Avengers that he was fighting. He didn't have any context to what he created. He was just, you know, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating to me. So that really is the biggest, my biggest problem with the movie. And again, that's a big problem for me because Thanos is such a crucial element to everything here. And my other issues are Thor. Now, again, I enjoyed Thor. I thought Thor was funny as hell. The freaking like Fortnite stuff is hilarious. It's just so funny. Yeah. But at some point throughout the movie, I'm like, okay, this is funny. This is awesome. But we're in a movie with time travel where Tony Stark can go talk to his dad and Captain America can fight Captain America. Can Thor not, you know, snap his fingers? That's kind of a bad joke, but you know, can Thor not get strike lightning and get his muscles back or something? Can we get Thor his muscles back?
Yeah, I mean, there's the one part where like he gets his hammer back and everything, and he, you know, gets struck by lightning. And I thought when he was just flashing and his eyes were glowing and stuff, I was like, okay, cool. He's gonna look like Thor again. But then he didn't, and it's just like, oh wow, okay, well, I guess they're gonna just be Pillsbury Doughboy throughout the rest of this movie. And it was just like at that moment that would have been so cool if he had been returned to kind of the normal Thor look. And I love his powers. Like his powers I think were really awesome in this movie. He used the lightning a lot more in this movie. His eyes were like glowing blue almost the entire time, which was really cool. But it was just super weird still just seeing that big gut just flailing everywhere and stuff. It was just kind of weird. So yeah. But yeah, I don't know.
No, I hear you.
I do have problems with Thor too. Like, and you know, this is actually something that I kind of noticed more with this movie too. The second time watching it was they really did clip a lot of the male characters down quite a bit. You know, I would say Iron Man was pretty solid and it's still like a really manly type of dude and stuff in this movie. And Captain America was too, but you know, they clipped Hulk. Hulk was definitely just a lot more emasculated. And even like there were two scenes that I noticed that were really interesting to see. When Hawkeye had the gauntlet and he was running, trying to get away from those aliens and stuff, and then suddenly Nebula comes out and like kicks him to the ground or whatever, and has the gun by him, and then the other Nebula and Gamora come around, and then they're all kind of like standing off with each other. Hawkeye like runs into a corner, like hides and stuff as they're like all having their face off, and I was like, what? What are you doing, Hawkeye? And then the other part was when Spider-Man made a little bit more sense, but it still was kind of noticeable where Spider-Man had the gauntlet and stuff.
Oh, that was the ultimate cringe.
Yeah, and then he was like holding the gauntlet, and then Brie Larson shows up and stuff. And
well, I was about the part on the battlefield too, where all the women, kind of like, and I was like, oh, really? But I really want to say, Gamora.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love me some Gamora, and I'm so happy Gamora was back.
Yeah, I'm so glad she's back. Yeah.
So hot. Wanna touch the hiney? Ow! Anyway, but Gamora is amazing. I love Zoe Saldana. She's awesome. And Gamora is one of my favorite characters in Marvel. I mean, actually, she might be my second favorite character behind Captain America. I love Gamora. And it's not because she's hot, but that does help. But I just love Gamora.
Yeah.
And yeah, Scarlet Witch is amazing.
Oh man, her part with Thanos was incredible. I loved that part so much. She was basically gonna tear him apart if he didn't call his ship down on her. So that was pretty awesome.
Yeah. And then, so, all right, let me get to a couple super chats real quick. Patrick White says, thanks. And thank you, Patrick. I appreciate the super chat. Darth Who says, what's up, fellow white dudes? Hope everyone had a good Easter. I tried to, despite being sick for some of it. Also had an Anzac Day. That's an Aussie thing. Well, glad you're feeling better, and thank you for the support, and we're happy you are here. Alex says, just got to help support the channels. I made a parody video of Captain Marvel versus the Thanos fight. Alex, I don't know how to say. Slosher.
Okay, yeah, yep. I know who he is, but
yeah. So if you can get a link to his channel, I don't know if you can find it, so we can drop a link in there because he made a parody video of Captain Marvel versus Thanos. So we appreciate the support. Thank you, Jaegerbomb. Do you feel that they Jake Soy Walkered Thor? Enjoyed it, but lots of nitpicks. What is your nitpicks and woke moments? Also, worst woke moment for you? Well, the worst woke moment for me was on the battlefield with all the women, coming together.
Absolutely.
And it was so symbolic of what they plan to do with the future of the MCU. And it was so, oh my gosh, it stood out like a sore thumb. So what was your wokest moment? That's mine by far.
Oh, that was definitely the most woke. It was just so forced. And like I said, I'm uploading a video about it right now for my channel. But basically, the way I said it in my video was, in isolation, it's not a bad idea, and I don't really have a problem with it in isolation. The idea of, all these awesome female characters that we've grown to love over the years showing up and charging forward into the battle and stuff. In isolation, not a bad idea. The execution was terrible, and it was just so forced. It took me completely out of the movie for a moment, and it was super cringy. So
and here's what I want to say to all you stupid motherfuckers that think that I don't like Captain Marvel because she's a woman and I don't want to see a woman at the forefront. You stupid motherfuckers. Okay, I would have loved if Nebula killed Thanos because of the story arc, because it would have made sense from a story standpoint. I would have loved if Gamora would have killed Thanos because it would have made sense from a story standpoint. I would have loved if Scarlet Witch would have killed him. What do these three characters have in common? They all earned it through the art of storytelling. My problem with Captain Marvel is she is a forced agenda character. She has been forced into this story. If you don't understand that, you're not paying attention, and I don't need to have a conversation with you. Okay? So go back to screenshotting my videos and crying because I post too many Brie Larson videos. And do you know what I'm going to do? The more you cry, the more motherfucking Brie Larson videos I'm going to make. I might even just upload video game clips of me playing a video game, but title it Brie Larson just to piss you motherfuckers off. All right. So it has nothing to do with women, you dumb fucks. It has to do with bad storytelling and forced agendas, forced diversity, which is bullshit, by the way, because if you believed in forced diversity, what you're saying is that women can't earn it. Minorities can't earn it. They have to be thrust into a story because they didn't earn their way, because we have to help them because they need it. And that is fucking bullshit.
Yep.
All right, because what you're saying is that these people, these non-white males, can't do it on their own. That's essentially what you're saying. And what I'm saying is, fuck you. They can do it. They can do anything anybody else can do. So stop treating them like they can't do it. Now, I'm done ranting. I'm done ranting. But the last thing I want to say, and I'm going to say it in the most polite way possible, is go fuck yourself. All right, let's move on.
No, there were so many badass female moments in this movie that I really I cheered at, and it was just really awesome. Like when Pepper Potts and Tony Stark were fighting side by side. I thought that was amazing. I loved that part so much.
Yes.
And you know, when Gamora kind of had her conversation with Nebula, and she was like asking her, so we kind of like become friends or whatever and stuff. And then she was like, let's go get him. I was like, oh, are they actually kind of hinting that they're going to get Thanos? Like, are they going to be the ones to take down Thanos? I was super excited for a moment with that. So yeah, I mean, it's not because of what's between their legs that defines what we think about these characters. They have to be well written characters that actually mean something to the story.
Yep, exactly. The problem is Brie Larson thinks because what's between her legs, she deserves it.
And it's so ridiculous. I mean, she came out in that interview. I actually just did a video on it for the channel, I don't know, a couple hours ago or whatever. And then Kevin Feige's been talking about how they want to normalize minorities in these movies and stuff. And they're like, the only reason they're not normalized is because you keep on bringing them up and acting like they're these circus animals and stuff.
Yep,
like
exactly.
That's the only reason they're not normalized.
It's so stupid. Smash the melee button if you don't mind. If you're just joining us, we are talking in-game spoilers. I have Josiah from Josiah Rises and also Geeks and Gamers here discussing it with me. So, all right. Joseph Aldridge says Jeremy has no hair. I covered that on my personal channel. And everybody's having a freak out over that video.
That video is good for your channel too. I was surprised.
I know it. Laser Pants Toy Jug. I love the movie. The couple of woke moments were corny as F, but didn't ruin it for me. But I also think there's a preview of things to come for the MCU. You're 100% right, Laser Pants. Oh, yeah. You're 100% right on that because I'm gonna, I've got another video coming tonight. And talking about how the future of the MCU is in massive trouble right now.
Absolutely.
Let's see. The Price is Right review. I just got home myself from EndGame. Wow. That's going to be a reaction a lot of people had initially. I did. And I still I'm not saying I didn't dislike the movie, or I'm not saying I disliked the movie per se. But the more I think about it, the more I'm going in the opposite direction. Coming out of the movie, I said it had a lot of problems, but I enjoyed it. But I didn't think it was a good movie. I thought it had a lot of problems. I stand by that. But the more I think about it subjectively, I'm going in the opposite direction. I'm going to go try to see it again tomorrow. Josiah just saw it for the second time. And he enjoyed it more. You had problems with it in the first half. And again, if you look at the first half of that movie, it is, when I saw 5 years later, I was like, is this like a Saturday Night Live skit that they're kind of putting before it to troll us? 5 years later? Really?
Yeah.
What the hell is going on here, man? And I just was, I was shocked. But again, I want to give them credit for that because we always complain that they give too much away in these trailers. They gave us nothing. They gave us nothing. We knew nothing about this movie. What did we see the first 15 minutes in the trailers? That's all we really saw.
Yeah. Yep.
And they deserve a lot of credit for that. They really do. All right. Toph Morris says, not gonna lie. Let's see. Even the more left-leaning stuff, like the all-women blitz through Thanos line, felt earned to me. Thick Thor would have annoyed me if he never got serious. Understandable. Totally understandable. I get it. I honestly, here's my thing on the whole all-woman blitz. I really I wouldn't have a problem with that if that wasn't, in my opinion, if that wasn't a preview of what's to come for the future of the MCU. Because to me, that was art imitating life right there. Yep. That's how I felt about it.
You know exactly why they put it in the movie.
Yes.
There's no question why they did that. I mean, so because of that, because we know exactly why they put in the movie, it ruined that moment. So
Yeah, I just so again, in isolation, I can accept it; it's fine. But if it's you're seeing it, like look at these interviews from Brie Larson right now, man. I mean, she's like wanting all female Avengers, and they ask her questions about like what heroes would you like to share the screen with, and it's all these women characters, and then she's like, well, it's got to be about the story. It's like, no, that's the problem. It's not about the story with you. It's about the agenda, and that's what's ruining things, and it's driving me crazy. Let's see. Maximus sends $1 super chat. Thank you so much. David Hervey, Hawkeye's wife has a great cell phone plan. That's good. That's good. The concerned Westerner. I agree with you on Thanos in this movie, Jeremy. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, where do you stand on that, Josiah? So, okay, let me recap real quick. So my biggest problem with EndGame, my biggest problem is Thanos, because I believe Thanos is an all-time great villain from Infinity War. I love Infinity War. Infinity War is one of my all-time favorite movies. But when obviously he gets his head chopped off in the beginning by Thor, and he's already a shell of himself at that point. And that's your post-Infinity War Thanos. So the Thanos we get on the battlefield is was it 2014 Thanos, I guess would be.
Yeah.
So 2014 Thanos, who doesn't have a relationship with any of these characters directly. He has no idea he has an idea of what he's done, but there's no emotional weight to what he's done. So when he's standing there, and all of a sudden he's about to take everybody out with his army, all of a sudden everybody that Thanos snapped out of existence returns, and he has no knowledge of it. Like, I wanted to see post-Infinity War Thanos stand there and watch his greatest triumph become his greatest failure.
Yep.
And it didn't happen. So that's my biggest problem with it, was that I didn't get post-Infinity War Thanos. Now, how do you feel about that, Josiah?
Yeah, I agree with you for the most part. I think Thanos was still really intimidating during the final fight. Like, I seriously thought he was going to slaughter Captain America at one point, like when he was just destroying his shield and stuff. I thought that was over for Cap at that moment. So I thought that he was still very commanding and intimidating on the battlefield, but I agree, like, he didn't have that connection, that emotional connection with them as he did in Infinity War. And I think what they could have done, and this actually would have worked out perfectly, is the part where Scarlet Witch shows up and faces off against Thanos, and he says something along the lines of, I don't know you, or something along those lines, and she's like, you will. Yeah. I think what Scarlet Witch should have done is shown him a vision of everything that happened with them, and kind of fill his mind with everything that had happened in Infinity War. And that would have been an awesome way for him to connect with everything that was going on during that final fight. And that could have easily had been a way for Scarlet Witch to do that and kind of make him feel even more pain, and to show him how much more he had failed after that and stuff. And it would have also been a way for him to connect more with all the other characters. And I think that actually would have worked out really perfectly, but they didn't do that, unfortunately. But
what? All right. So in your perfect scenario, who kills Thanos in your perfect scenario?
I think how they kill Thanos is perfect. I think Iron Man killing Thanos was the most beautiful thing they could have done, for sure.
Okay.
I just think that if they had done that with Scarlet, and they could have easily done that with Scarlet Witch, because we've seen her do things with like the mind and stuff, and Age of Ultron. So they could have easily had done something along those lines with Thanos in this movie, and it wouldn't have taken very long. It would have been in like an extra 30 seconds or so. Her filling his mind with all the visions, maybe flashing of all the visions, and then him like maybe grabbing his head, screaming or something, and then her trying to kill him after that. Would have been perfect way to set it up so that he had that connection that he had from Infinity War.
Well, I agree that Tony is the right person that should have done it. The people, like, there's two people I wish that ultimately could have killed him, and that would be Nebula and Gamora. I wish they could have been
They would have been They would have been the other people, for sure.
Yeah, because I mean, that's from a storytelling standpoint. what he's put both of them through and everything that the horror that they've had to live through under him. I just feel like they should have been the two to kill him, but I also get it because it's Tony Stark, and to complete his arc and to, capitalize off of what Doctor Strange told him and everything like that, it had to be that. But what I really wish that at that moment right before he, blows away, I really wish Gamora and Nebula could have been standing there to look him in his eye, to make him understand that they are going to be better off without him, and they're going to survive, and he is going to die in misery, in failure. I would have loved to have had that. Now, if this really is all about female empowerment, that's what they should have fucking done.
Right.
But they're too worried about putting woke Captain Marvel in the forefront instead of good storytelling. Why don't you give Gamora and Nebula have been put through hell by Thanos? Hell. And you don't even want to give them any kind of proper, moment there while Thanos dies? Huh?
Female characters, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. It's so stupid. It's beyond stupid. That they don't think about those things, but they think about the whole women blitz through the battlefield. But anyway, either way, I'm happy that Tony did get to be the guy at the same time, because again, I do believe that Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark, his arc from Iron Man 1 all the way to EndGame is probably the greatest arc I've ever seen in movie history from one single actor. It's absolutely unbelievable. And I say that with being someone that's not really a big fan of Iron Man 2, especially not Iron Man 3. Didn't really love Homecoming that much either, but I do love the relationship between Tony and Peter Parker. And God damn it, when Peter Parker returns, and Tony hugs him, oh man, so good, so good. So good. One moment we haven't talked about is the Hawkeye and Black Widow moment. I gotta say, man, I don't really get emotional during movies. I was like, fuck, something in my eye right now, man. Something's in my eye.
The first time I watched it, it didn't really get me emotionally. The second time it got me a lot more, because I don't know, it kind of hit me more the second time, I guess. But the first time around, I was like, no, there's no way they're going to kill Black Widow. No. There's got to be some way she's going to come back. And then she doesn't. And so the second time around, it got me a lot more. And the fact that they were basically kicking each other's ass, trying to be the one to sacrifice himself, was just fantastic. I thought that was really, really awesome.
And it's great to see, as a person that I really don't like romantic relationships in movies unless it is specifically a romantic movie. I don't really like romantic moments. I think they're cringe, and I think they waste time, and I can't stand them. So it's nice to see a moment with a dude and a woman where there's just a super strong bond, where it's not all about fucking and making out or all that stuff. And that was a true bond between two characters, kind of reminiscent of Ahsoka and Anakin from the Clone Wars. And I appreciated that moment so much. So
totally agree.
But yeah, let me knock out a few more super chats real quick. So the Concerned Westerner, I agree with. Oh, got that one. The Fandom Menace, I go live for my first time, then Geek and G goes live. Really? Just kidding. Hey, spoilers. Give me a warning next time. Sorry, man. Sorry. I don't really think these things out. I just kind of, like I said, this just was a spur of the moment decision. Black Wish Universe, no more Cap. Get Lone Star instead. LoneStarComic.com. 2 days in 42,000. Marvel is dead. Long live Blacklist Universe. Support our friend Mike. It's LoneStarComic.com. Go check him out. All right, Bruce Lombardo, still boycotting this. Enjoy it, you people. Hey, man, we got you. You definitely have that right, and I totally understand that completely. Holy crap, there's a lot of super chats. Sky Smith, Thanos kicking at Captain Marvel's butt. Yes, that was pretty awesome. That was awesome. It really was awesome.
Him just punching her right out of the sky was amazing.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was awesome. Yeah. Steve Glasker says, Josiah has many issues with the movie, yet loves it. Hey, I mean, I have issues with a lot of movies that I love still. I mean, look, Mortal Kombat Annihilation. I even love X-Men Origins Wolverine, okay? And I think that movie has a shit ton of problems, but I just enjoy it. I just enjoy that movie, you know? So I mean, so when you say that when somebody can say they have problems with the movie but still enjoy it, I mean, that's objectivity versus subjectivity. And you can, people that don't need their opinion repeated back to them can separate the two. So
yeah, I mean, this movie is so full of a bunch of characters that I've grown to love over 11 years. There's no way I'm going to hate this movie or anything, you know, even though I can totally see the issues that this movie has. So, yeah.
Right. And it's just, I feel like they probably put themselves into a corner with storytelling standpoint. I mean, they had to end it. They had a lot to figure out. Time travel is a very complicated topic, no matter what you do in a movie. It gets very, very complicated. So, I mean, I get it, you know, I do get it. Taupe Daddy says, things many reviewers don't mention are the appearance of Robert Redford, Michael Douglas, and Tilda Swinton. Touches like that really made the movie for me. It's a great point. It really is. It's those were really good, nice nuggets and fan service. And I did say in my spoiler-free review that there was too much fan service, and I do still agree with that. When I say there's too much fan service, I mean, I get it. You know, with like Tony and Howard Stark, I get it, but it's just like, I mean, they ran into each other at the same time that you know, Cap, you know, ran into Peggy, and I just, man, it was just a little too much for me, man. There was just certain moments that I was just like, my gosh, the conveniences, you know. So
yeah,
you know, I get it though. It was a lot of fan service though. It really, really was. But the problem is if you're going to give us fan service, but you're not going to give me Thor or the Hulk, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, if you want to go fan service, how about give the Hulk his opportunity to redeem himself after being beaten down like a little biatch in Infinity War? I mean,
yeah,
that's a problem for me. And I'm not even the biggest Hulk fan, but I can only imagine a Hulk fan being furious over that. Like, bro, Hulk got beat down into being a terrified little, you know, puppy in Infinity War, and you bring him back as a beta male who likes to pose for selfies. What?
yeah.
Now, again, and I'm saying, and that's fine. That's fine. You could do that, but give him a moment. Give him a moment to go full Hulk. In the end, that's all I'm asking for. That's all.
Exactly. Totally agree. Totally agree.
You know, Hulk redeemed himself figuring out the time travel. Again, that is not how Hulk would redeem himself.
No.
I get it. I get your point. Good old gamer. I understand where you're coming from, but
literally, I mean, I would be, this is probably a safe bet to say that 100% of the people have been wanting to see a rematch between Hulk and Thanos. Like, yeah.
I mean, yeah, because you have to understand that moment, and I'm sure everybody here understands. You have to understand, all right, when Infinity War starts and the Hulk comes in and Thanos beats him down. From a narrative standpoint, as the viewer, you're like, holy shit.
This is not someone to mess with.
The Hulk down like it wasn't nothing.
Yeah.
And again, great job on that. You set a tone and you follow through with that tone, and I totally understand that. But I'm just saying, Hulk needed his chance to redeem himself because he's the Hulk. And I feel like the fan service elements were missing, that they were misplaced. They're misplaced. I get the Tony Howard Stark moment was nice, and it was nice. That was a really nice moment, and that helped continue to develop the character of Tony Stark. But it would have been eliminated that. I would have traded that for Hulk to get his redemption moment to beat the hell out of Thanos, or to get Hulk or Thor to be Thor instead of I don't know, like freaking. That was just bad. I mean, again, I enjoyed I was laughing so hard with the Thor stuff, but eventually I was like, all right, can we get Thor now? Can we get Thor up in here?
He needed to have that kind of redemption thing too and stuff. Like I don't know. He like I said, he was still kind of cool at the end. It was cool how he used a lot of lightning and both of his hammers. I thought that was awesome. But he was still just a flabby dude at the end of the movie, wearing like knit sweaters and stuff, and it's just like what is happening right now?
Yeah. I heard that. And Jacob Black, yes, I can see your comment. I don't know why you're asking that, but yes, I can see your comment. All right.
I have to ask you something though.
What up?
Okay. What do you think about Captain America using Thor's hammer?
Oh, that was the greatest moment in the movie.
Yeah. Oh,
Greatest
man.
moment of the movie.
Dude.
And I lost it. I don't really like cheering during movies, but that moment,
Yeah.
that was unbelievable. And I mean, Captain America is my favorite MCU character. As much as I feel like I always have to qualify this, just because people are stupid. Not anybody here, but like the SJWs are like, oh, he will complain about Brie Larson's politics, but he doesn't complain about Chris Evans. Chris Evans' politics make me want to beat my head against a brick wall for at least 3 to 5 hours, and I would feel better after that, because the pain, the physical pain that I would have endured will make me feel better than the mental pain that I get from reading Chris Evans' tweets. Okay? So I hate his politics. Mm-hmm. But his Captain America is the definitive superhero of my lifetime outside of Christopher Reeve Superman. He just is. He's fantastic. He's unbelievable. And that was my favorite overall part of the movie, was just Captain America getting the most screen time. Because if I had any criticism for Infinity War, it was that Captain America didn't really get a lot of screen time in Infinity War. But still, yes. So that moment was incredible. I lost it. And I typically, like I said, I don't cheer much during movies, but even there, I was like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Honestly, that might be one of my favorite moments of all time in the MCU. That was just incredible.
And I got to say, this may be kind of, I don't know. I feel like people don't like this moment, but I do. Cap's ending. I thought that was perfect. Mm-hmm. I thought from a story standpoint, that was a perfect ending.
Yep.
I mean, he got his dance with Peggy. He got to live that life he always wanted. I thought it was beautiful. I thought it was perfect, perfectly executed. I had no issues with the Captain America arc at all.
Totally agree. Yep. I thought they handled him. I thought him and Tony Stark were handled pretty much perfectly in this movie. So
yeah, I agree with that. And yeah, I mean, Caps will go down as I have two favorite like movie characters just in movies. I don't even think I've ever told anybody who my like favorite movie characters are. I don't even know if you know this, Josiah. So if you're just joining us, you're gonna find out. So my two favorite movie characters of all time, and what I mean by that is like characters that have, or actors that have portrayed a role within movies, and that is Gandalf. Gandalf is I just Ian McKellen's Gandalf is just there's something magical when he's on screen during Lord of the Rings. It's just fantastic. And Gary Oldman's Gordon. Gary Oldman's Gordon is amazing. I love Oldman's Gordon. The Dark Knight trilogy is everything to me, and Oldman's Gordon is the heart and soul of that trilogy. And then Chris Evans, Captain America. I just love Chris Evans, Captain America. I really do. I think the world of this character, as someone that grew up, on the Christopher Reeve Superman, and Christopher Reeve Superman will always be the definitive superhero ever for me. Evans Cap is close as to me that I'm ever going to see to Reeve Superman.
Absolutely.
So there you go. There you go.
He's incredible. He really is.
And the more like the first Avenger, when I watched the first Avenger over and over again, it got better and better. Obviously I love the Winter Soldier. I love Civil War. It's great, man. It's great.
Yeah.
So, all right, let me see. Sky Smith says, oh, got that one. Steve Lasker got that. Tope Daddy got that one. Dwayne Morris, sorry, but when the Black Widow died, it killed the movie for me. I understand, but and so here's the problem. I unfortunately was spoiled on both Black Widow and
Ooh,
Iron Man.
that sucks.
So shout out to all of you, you fucking miserable SJWs that hate me. You got me. But I do. The one thing you can't change is the fact that my YouTube channel is making more money than you'll ever see in your life, and I do have an above average penis, and I'll probably put it in your mom at some point. So fuck you. But yeah, so the movie was spoiled for me. So I knew those moments were coming, but I can say like the execution of the Black Widow and the Hawkeye thing, it made up for any. I mean, I knew it was happening, but my God, it was just unbelievable. It was unbelievably executed. So, so as much as it sucked that it was spoiled for me, the execution made up for it. And as far as Tony goes, I think a lot of us felt that Tony was going to die anyway. In this movie, just because of the direction the MCU is moving and everything like that. So yeah, all good, man. And honestly, if you're somebody that really tries to watch movies in the beginning and try to pick out like where is this going, and I don't do that, by the way, but if you are, you would probably understand where they were going with Tony in the beginning, with him having a family and everything. You're like, Tony's gonna sacrifice everything, you know.
I had a really good feeling that both Steve Rogers and Tony Stark were going to be completely done after this movie, and this was their last movie, and I didn't know exactly how that was going to happen, but I knew that was going to happen. So
yeah, smash the melee button if you do not mind. My name is Jeremy. We are here with our spoiler discussion. I'm here with Josiah Rises of Geeks and Gamers and Josiah Rises. And so we've kind of been through a lot of our negatives and positives. Ultimately, Josiah likes the movie more than I do, but he acknowledges the issues. I've only seen the movie once, and initially I said I liked it, but I had a lot of problems. And the more I've thought about it, the more those problems have really start to bog down my opinion of the movie. And this is coming from someone that absolutely loves Infinity War so much. And so, oh yeah, the Hell Hydra moment with Cap was fantastic.
yes.
My God, that was fantastic. I was like, yes, it was so good. It was so good. Oh, I loved it so much. All right. Jin Wong says, if Captain Marvel is so strong, why didn't she use the Infinity Gauntlet when she had it? She could have snapped away Thanos and totally walked off. Yeah, well, you know, that would make too much sense, and it would destroy their agenda-driven phase of the MCU moving forward. The Price is Right review. A big eye roll. Let's see. A big eye rolling part was the girl power symbol. Absolutely. If that didn't stand out to you like a sore thumb, oh my gosh.
Totally
it was
out of the movie for a good couple seconds. So
yeah. Totally did. Me too. Let's see, Wolfman Jack. I think EndGame has some of the best moments in the MCU, like Captain America using the hammer, but there's also things I hated, like Thor, since Thor Ragnarok had him set up as a king just to turn him into a fat slob and leave. I agree. Thor is probably going to be my second most disappointing aspect of EndGame behind Thanos, because of the obvious. Again, he was entertaining as hell when we're introduced to Thor. I thought it was great. I'm not sure if anybody didn't find that hilarious, but at some point, I mean, we wanted to see Thor. And for him to never get back to Thor and yet spend the entire EndGame like that and then just hand it over to Valkyrie. Thor is... Jack Straw says Thor is basically the dude from Big Lebowski. You win, Jack Straw. You win. All right, that's good.
Oh, man.
That was good. Oh man, that was fantastic right there. Okay. Man.
You can totally just see how they pretty much got rid of all of the straight white male lead characters in this movie. And if they didn't get rid of them, like how they got rid of Steve Rogers and Tony Stark, they pretty much just made them. They pretty much just emasculated them. So. It's really, really sad to see.
Yeah, it really is. Iron Man calls him Lebowski. Did he say that? I didn't even hear him say that in the movie. I didn't hear him say that in the movie. I must have missed that part. We got a special guest calling in right now. We have a special guest calling right now while I'm live streaming. Do you want to tell the world who you are, sir?
My name?
Yeah.
The helpful Mexican.
The helpful.
Some truth.
Do you want to join this live stream? Because we're live streaming right now.
If I wasn't driving my donkey right now to the highway, I would say yes. But yeah, like for some reason, my phone.
I hear you.
I still have a phone, so it doesn't connect to Google Hangouts, sadly.
I hear you. No, I hear you on that. Can I call you back when we're wrapping up? You gonna be up for a while?
I should be able to. There's 3 lawns that I have to mow, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be up still. Hold on. Oh, there's a cop coming. There's a cop coming. Gotta go.
All right, man. All right. So that was the helpful Mexican, Ivan Ortega. All right. Here we go. All right, let's get back into it. Robbie Cano. Oh wait, I'm sorry. What were you saying, Josiah? You were in the middle of something.
Oh no, we were just talking about the Tony Stark did call him Lebowski in the movie. So
okay, I did not catch that one. I guess I need to go. I mean, there's so many good jokes, so I missed that one completely. So anyway, that's a fantastic joke. My favorite. I love the self-awareness of the time travel element where they were talking about Back to the Future and all that stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was so good. All right. Robbie Cano, I enjoyed the movie, but a big thing that took me out of the movie was Thanos was much stronger than he was in Infinity War. He had no gauntlet, but crushed all. Yeah, I mean, again, Thanos is my biggest problem. Okay, so it's Alex Slusher. So thanks for trying to pronounce my name. It's Slusher. I'll link it on Twitter. Got you, buddy. Got you. Deep center field press. Love the takes. Good to see men unwoke. Well, thank you. We appreciate that. Alex McCarthy, $2 for the fallen greatness of Black Widow. Absolutely. And I mean, it's so like they keep telling us that we don't like women in movies, yet we love Black Widow. We love Gamora. We love Nebula. You know, we love Scarlet Witch.
That's so stupid.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb. But the stupidity is just out of this world. So whatever, man. All right. Alex McCarthy, $2 for the. Oh, I got that one. Wolfman Jack. I hated that Thanos easily overpowers Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man, but struggles against Captain Mary Sue. Oh yeah, I picked up on that too. Absolutely picked up on that one. Grant, Iron Man and Cap got to complete their arcs. Thor should have completed his by finally becoming the king to his people needed, not running off. I 100% agree. 100% agree.
Yep.
100% agree. But that was, and that's where the identity politics they overrun good storytelling because they are trying. And look, I think Tessa Thompson's a great actress, and I think she's fantastic as Valkyrie. So I'm not complaining as much as I would about Captain Marvel, because when I watched Ragnarok, I was like, this Valkyrie chick is awesome. You know what I mean? She's great.
Yeah.
She was really, she stood out. But when you do that to Thor, and then you just pretty much dismiss his arc so that you can elevate her, it just shows where the wokeness is overtaking storytelling, and that bothers me. Judah Khan says, I enjoyed EndGame, but I think it won't age well. That's a great point. And that's where something like Infinity War did age well for me, and I believe it will age well into the future. And something for me like the first Avengers did not age well. I don't know how you feel about that. I know you probably still love the first Avengers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I watched. Yeah.
But Infinity War, I think, is the best movie in the MCU, hands down.
Oh, hey, who's trolling? Who's trolling?
Uh-oh.
I got him.
Okay.
I think I know. I think I know who's trolling. Who needs to meet Jeremy Kyle? Jeremy Kyle, not Clay Kyle. Jeremy Kyle.
And yes, Alex McCarthy, I will be streaming tomorrow on my channel. So see you there. That'll be at 3 p.m. EST.
All right. Yep, I got you. He's gone. Rest in peace to the troll. Bam, he's gone. Gone. Good. Jeremy Kyle just stepped in and popped you right between the eyes. All right, let's do this. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, smash the melee button if you do not mind. If you're just joining us, my name is Jeremy. I am the owner of geeksandgamers.com, and I am the creator of this wonderful, wonderful channel that you have tuned into. And very soon we are going to rename this to Breeze and Larsons. That's what we're going to name it to, Breeze and Larsons. So if you liked the name Geeks and Gamers, I thank you for that. But we're going to do Breeze and then the plus symbol Larsons. Breeze and Larsons right there. That's what we're going to do. We're going to name it. It's good for the algorithm. It's really good for the algorithm. It's going to help us out a lot. Breeze and Larsons.
Brie Larson videos are just, they do the best. They're just amazing. They're just like a gold mine. It's amazing.
Oh, I know it. I know it.
Brie Larson is the gift that keeps on giving. Even though everyone keeps on bitching about the fact that we keep on making more Brie Larson videos. It's incredible.
I know it. I know it. So good. So good. All right. Snowdub Music and Entertainment. Thank you for the 2 $1 super chats. I appreciate that. And I appreciate your support. Thank you very much. Sam Cottrell. Thor and Hawkeye lost everything they loved to Thanos. It was good that they were broken post-snap. Trauma is the key theme in EndGame. Captain Marvel getting smashed by Thanos is memeable. Thanos realized his failure through Nebula. That's a real, I respect where you're coming from, and that is a very good perspective on it. I don't fully agree with you, but I do kind of understand where you're coming from, and I like that perspective. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, I like the fact that after the snap, we saw pretty much a broken Thor, and he could have been taking this broken Hulk and stuff, but like we keep on saying, they never did anything with them beyond that. So,
right.
Issue.
Yeah. So yeah, Sam, that's a really good perspective. I'm going to read that one more time. You did send a $20 super chat too. So I'm going to read that one more time. It says Thor and Hawkeye lost everything they loved to Thanos. It was good that they were broken post snap. Trauma is the key theme in EndGame. Captain Marvel getting smashed by Thanos is memeable. Thanos realized his failure through Nebula. Again, really good point, and I really appreciate that and respect that point. Snowdub Music and Entertainment, send a couple of bucks just to show some love. Hashtag Jer Army. Thank you, Snowdub Music and Entertainment. I appreciate it as always. And thank you very much. All right. Grant, when Brie Larson says diversity, she means no men. She means no straight white men. That's what she means.
Yep.
But no, honestly, but no, truly, it's kind of like it's the oppression Olympics with people like Brie Larson. So at the top of the oppression Olympics that she wants to see eliminated is straight white men, but right below that is any man, like any man.
Yeah,
you know, she just wants the whammon. She just wants the whammon, and that's really all she cares about. So it's true. I mean, the woman just does not like men. She just doesn't, and Jeremy Renner don't like her. So, which is good.
I think that's part of the reason why her pants get so wet whenever she talks about Tessa Thompson and stuff. It's like it's a female who's a minority and stuff, and it's like that's why she wants that I guess that's why she keeps on making hints towards like a gay relationship with her in the movies and stuff, because that would fit her agenda just perfectly in every sense of the word. So
yep 100%. Where we at? Dwayne Morris. I hate seeing a tokenized Black Valkyrie becoming the new Thor. Yeah, and I do too. I mean, because again, I like Valkyrie and I like Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie. I think she's a great character. And again, this goes into the fact that they don't believe that women and minorities are actually capable of earning it. They think they have to hand it to them. Tessa Thompson don't need anything handed to her. Again, it took me all of 2 seconds when I saw her as Valkyrie in Thor Ragnarok. I'm like, holy crap, we got a star. We got a star on our hands. Like, she's amazing. But when you start handing out, oppression Olympics tickets that's where it starts to lose it, and it's very frustrating. Very, very frustrating.
And the stupid thing is that they keep on having to put down men in order to elevate women. Like, why can't both just be awesome?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
they did that so much in this movie, and watching it the second time really showed that a lot more. They every time that they had to elevate a woman, they had to put down a man. It's like,
Yep. But I'll just continue to point out how Wonder Woman did it perfectly.
Yep.
Perfectly.
Great movie. Yep.
You know, man's man in the movie. You didn't have to tear down the man because you were not thinking like, oh, we have to tear down the man to elevate the woman. No, the woman was awesome. And you weren't intimidated by the man being a man's man because you knew that the woman you had and the writing you had around that woman and the actress playing that woman and the character didn't need any help. She was that badass.
Yep.
And that's why Wonder Woman is one of my all-time favorite superhero movies.
Yep.
Let's see. Stone Cold Jeremy. Hey, Josiah. Hey, Jeremy. Keep on rocking. Thank you. I appreciate that. We appreciate that.
Yes,
Toy Fiend says Tony Stark always figured out a way to get himself out of a jam. Having Captain Marvel rescue him from space was the ultimate insult. Unforgivable. You know,
that's a good
point. That's a good point.
I didn't even think about that.
Wow, I didn't even think about that. That is a fantastic point. Wow.
Yeah.
That is a really good point. I did not think about it from that perspective, but I'm going to read that one more time. Tony Stark always figures out a way to get himself out of a jam. Having Captain Marvel rescue him from space was the ultimate insult. Unforgivable. Yep.
That's
yeah. That's 100%.
The crazy thing is, because I was just thinking a little bit ago when we were talking about Captain Marvel scenes and stuff, it's like, okay, well, she rescued Tony, so she kind of works in the beginning, but that's so true. I mean, Tony Stark has always been about him solving the problems, and because of that, they could have just cut out Captain Marvel completely from the beginning and given more of that screen time to a Hulk and Thanos rematch. Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, ultimately, that might make me reconsider saying that Captain Marvel didn't ruin the movie because, I mean, she didn't help the movie, that's for sure. That's a really interesting take. Thank you for that super chat. I appreciate that. DeWitt says, imagine being in high school and getting snapped by Thanos. You come back 5 years later, but your friends are now adults. Plot hole. There's a lot of plot holes in the movie. There's absolutely a lot of plot holes. There's no doubt about it. And anytime we have to forgive things in these movies to make them enjoyable. I mean, at the end of the day, we can even talk about like The Dark Knight and how realistic and gritty and down to earth that is and how perfect that movie is. But at the end of the day, it's about a billionaire dressing up as a fucking bat. Okay. I mean, it's Batman is a plot hole. Like Batman's existence is a plot hole. You know, like Gary Oldman's Gordon is one of my favorite characters, and he's like, he doesn't understand that Bruce Wayne and Batman are the same person, really. You know what I mean? So there's certain things that we have to forgive. So there are a lot of plot holes in this movie, though. I mean, there's a lot. If you really, really want to nitpick it, there's a lot of plot holes, no doubt about it. All right, let me see. Where we at? David Hervey. Funny thing about the all-women blitz for Captain Marvel is she really didn't need their help. She just destroyed Thanos' whole ship on her own. No, that was all like art imitating life in terms of what they plan to do moving forward into the future is exactly what that was. And David Hervey also says Black Widow deserved to have been with the women blitz. Black Widow deserved to do her own individual blitz because she could have done that by herself because that's how badass she is. Like, do we remember like when we're introducing when Natasha was that in is that at Avengers where she's tied up in the beginning in the chair? Awesome scene, man. Just so badass. She's so great.
She is.
Like, Scarlett Johansson is awesome. I mean, my daughter was sitting there with me in EndGame, and afterwards, that's the first thing my daughter mentioned. You know, she didn't mention Captain Marvel. She goes, I can't believe Scarlett Johansson's gone. She is the greatest actor in the world. That's what my daughter said. You know, that's how much Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow connects to a young girl. But you're trying to force people to respect Captain Marvel. Why? Exactly. Like my kid sits there and sees Scarlett Johansson actually fighting, actually being awesome, actually being a badass, actually being respectable of other people in her interviews and not tearing down an entire gender and race. Yet you're trying to tell these young children and these young kids that their role model needs to be Brie Larson. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here.
I know.
Nope. So it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, Black Widow is my second favorite character in the MCU for sure. And she might be one of my favorite female characters of all time in anything. She's just amazing.
100%.
But I'm on the top. Just remember that. So
yeah. All right. Where are we at? Titus Muller says, so did Thanos really have to kill Gamora? I mean, he didn't really have to do anything. Well, yeah, he had to in order to get that stone.
Yeah.
From a storytelling standpoint, in that moment, he absolutely had to kill her. He absolutely had to. And that kicked my ass. I mean, it's a big fan of Gamora and Zoe Saldana. That moment kicked my ass. So yeah, but he absolutely had to kill her. He absolutely had to.
Yep.
Jose Luis says, nobody says anything about Stan Lee's cameo. I thought it was kind of I mean, obviously it's Stan Lee's final, cameo, I guess. I thought it was really underwhelming. I thought it was I mean, it got a big cheer from my crowd, but that was inevitable with his cameo, but I thought it was fairly forgettable.
Best, but
Yeah, that's a good question, Jeremy Peterson. Where was Gamora at the end of the movie? Because she was not at Tony's funeral. Where was Gamora?
I was wondering that myself. They never explained what happened to her in the movie.
That's true. Hey, listen to me, motherfuckers. Tell me where Zoe is. Tell me where Gamora is. I must know this answer because she is awesome. Let me see. Let me see if somebody says in here. Why is Gamora? Where's Gamora? Are we missing something here?
I mean, I didn't notice anything that they did with her at the end of the movie there. Like,
well, no, but Gamora never met Stark, but the Guardians of the Galaxy were there. She should have been there with them.
Pretty much the last time we see her in the movie is when she kicks Star-Lord in the balls. It's pretty much like the last time we see her in the movie, actually.
Some people say that Gamora vanished. She probably went back to 2014. I think she left with Nebula. Yeah, Nebula wasn't there either, right?
No.
Huh. That's interesting right there. I'm not getting any definitive answers, so I guess nobody really. I guess our ignorance is justified because nobody seems to know for sure.
Yeah, they just kind of disappeared.
Oh my god, the chat's moving so fast. Nebula was there? Was Nebula there? Nebula was there? Oh, Nebula was at the funeral. Holy shit, okay. All right. Nebula goes with the Guardians. That's okay, so Nebula was there. I've only seen it once, so... All right, god damn, the chat's moving so fast I can't keep up. I'm just going to move on. Don't call me a dummy. I am a sensitive... gender fluid SJW. I drink Starbucks. I stand for women's rights. And I am tired of the male patriarchy. Do not call me a dummy. That is bullying, and I will not stand for it. And if you dare call me a dummy, I will hashtag you on Twitter, sir. I will hashtag you. Oh, yes, I will. All right. Let me see. Stone Cold Jeremy. Anytime a movie has time travel, it will have problems and plot holes, period. There hasn't been a movie made that hasn't had them. I will say, am I biased on this one? I don't believe Interstellar has a ton of problems. Am I biased?
I mean,
don't get me wrong. There are some leaps in logic with Interstellar, but I believe that Interstellar does it pretty damn well without a lot of logical jumps.
You're just wearing your Christopher Nolan fanboy glasses right now.
Let's see. I mean, hey, Kip Thorne worked on it. You know what I mean? And Neil deGrasse Tyson actually gave it like a 9 out of 10 on the science aspect of it. What up, yo? I do think, in all honesty, like my biggest problem with Interstellar is some of the editing. The editing with the end. I'm not going to go into it right now, but there's some editing problems in the end when Murph and Cooper are together. I thought there was some glaring problems with the editing in that scene. Oh, some glaring problems with the editing. It pisses me off, honestly. But anyway, we're going to move on from that. I don't want to talk Interstellar right now. Where are we? David Hervey, now I understand why Tony's right arm has been bothering him through the whole Iron Man Avenger series. The movie has flaws, but still better than The Last Jedi. Can we make this like the definitive thing for every movie? Even if the movie sucks. Even if it's like the worst movie that we've seen in a long time, can we always say still better than The Last Jedi? Can we just do that? Can we do that? Okay. I would really like to do that. The Phantom Menace, I don't want to seem like I'm begging, but I'm begging. Can I join you? I appreciate it. And I appreciate all of what you're doing. I don't take requests to join live streams on like super chats, because if I do that, it's going to set a terrible precedent for people who are like, hey, I gave you money, so just send me to bring me on a live stream. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate what you do, but I don't take requests to join live streams on super chats. Titus Moeller, imagine how much better and how profoundly meta it would have been if Joe Russo had been talking about his brother during the support group scene. That would have been pretty cool. I don't know if a lot of people caught that, but the Russos were in that support group scene.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people in my theater knew about that. So Twilight or The Last Jedi? Twilight. Oh my God. I'll think Twilight's a lot better than The Last Jedi. Seriously. Spider-Man 3 still better than The Last Jedi. That's right. That's right. And all right, where are we at? R for Film says, I was hoping for Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider in EndGame. Ever think he'll be incorporated into the MCU? I don't know where the rights are on Ghost Rider. Where are the rights at? I have no idea where Ghost Rider's rights are.
Oh man.
I mean, the last what didn't we get? Like, how many Nicolas Cage films did we get? Like 3 or 4? I can't even remember. After the first one, I gave up.
It was just 2. The second one was absolute garbage. But actually, Ghost Rider was in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show a couple years ago. So, but they had a totally new person playing him and stuff. But he was pretty cool in the show. So that's where he's at.
Is Batman v Superman better than The Last Jedi? Absolutely. And this is coming from a very, very well-known BVS hater. It's better than The Last Jedi. It absolutely is. There's no doubt about that. Disney currently owns Ghost Rider. Oh, okay. I think they have to bring Ghost Rider into it. I'm probably thinking more like a Disney Plus, streaming situation if that ever happened. That's how I'd see that happening. David Hervey, how do you guys feel about Valkyrie taking over for Thor as Queen of Asgard? She actually is the most qualified and great developed character. Again, we've kind of talked about that already. I think Valkyrie is fantastic. Hey, what's up, DJ Scandalous? As a matter of fact, DJ Scandalous, send me a private message on Twitter. I wanted to talk to you, see if you want to do like a music stream with me at some point, talk about some some East Coast, West Coast hip hop from back in the day. So shoot me a private message at D-Day Cobra and we'll talk. All right, now, so he says, how do we feel about Valkyrie taking over for Thor as Queen of Asgard? Okay, from a storytelling standpoint, I think it's a good move. And I think that Tessa Thompson is fantastic as Valkyrie. I really do. I thought she was awesome in Ragnarok. She's the best part of Ragnarok. But you shouldn't have to compromise Thor getting the proper ending to end his amazing arc to elevate this person that didn't need elevating because she's already elevated. She's awesome. She's amazing. But so the problem isn't Valkyrie taking over as Queen of Asgard. It's the fact that you did Thor so wrong in order to get to that point. That's my problem. What about you, Josiah?
Oh no, I totally agree with you. I mean they pretty much had to knock down Thor a peg in order to bring Valkyrie in as the new Queen of Asgard. I don't have a problem with her being Queen of Asgard, but it should not have happened in this movie. They should have ended this movie with Thor being the King of Asgard, and that would have been a proper way to end his arc. So.
Okay. Yep. I agree. Now again, some people are saying his arc's not over. So, and I mean, I guess it's, we will see. Yeah. I don't think we know.
No.
But it seems like it's over, but maybe it's not. So we will leave that, open-ended for now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Red, where are we at? Red Tang 113 had to pay for this. Ewan's Obi-Wan man, come on. Hang on, what? Had to pay for this. Ewan's Obi-Wan man, come on. Oh, you're talking about arc? If you're talking about, I'm assuming you're talking about when I said that Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark, is probably the greatest arc in the history of cinema from beginning to end for one actor. I can't say give you Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan because he had 3 films. You know what I mean? And 2 of those films are viewed as disasters, even though I don't think so. And I love Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan. He rose above the bad films that he was in The Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. But Obi-Wan as a character probably has the greatest arc in the history of Star Wars. If you look at how he's been portrayed in the Clone Wars, in the prequels, and in the original trilogy. But I can't say that Ewan McGregor is a more fleshed out Obi-Wan than Tony Stark's or Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. I can't say that at all. But I get it, and trust me, I love me some Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan. I totally do.
Tony Stark's arc was a little bit more complete than Ewan McGregor's Obi-Wan's arc was. So,
and to be clear, I don't dislike Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones. I was talking about more so in how they're perceived. I enjoy those movies more than most. So I'm just talking about how the general consensus kind of views those movies, because I love the prequels.
Yeah, me too. Honestly, I love sand too. So that's
it's rough, it's coarse, it's irritating, and it gets everywhere. All right. Let's see. The big red bear. The problem with the first Avenger is the antagonist. Red Skull and Hydra were lame. In real life, Nazis were literally more effective and intimidating than their cousins, Hydra, which is sad and funny. Yeah, I mean, the problem with the first Avenger, Red Skull is a little underwhelming. Could have been better, but it's more about Steve and his arc.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to see what everybody's saying right now. All right, I'm trying to catch up in this so we can get back to the discussion, guys. We are having our spoiler discussion for EndGame. We've kind of talked about some of our thoughts. If you're just joining us, smash the melee button if you don't mind. This is Jeremy. This is Josiah. Overall, Josiah has seen the movie twice. I've seen it once. I gave my initial spoiler-free thoughts on it when I walked out of the movie theater, and I liked it. I had a lot of problems with it. The more I've thought about it, my biggest problem with the movie, if you're just joining us, my biggest problem with this movie is Thanos. I didn't think Thanos was utilized in the best way he could have, and with all the buildup for what Thanos did and all of the anger that the heroes had against Thanos, I felt a little ripped off that the Thanos that we got in the end of this movie during the battle was not the Thanos that was post-Infinity War, and he had no connection and no knowledge to any of these characters, even though they're all angry at him and they wanted to get revenge on him. So when everybody showed up, Thanos didn't view that as like my greatest triumph just turned into my greatest failure, because they've reversed everything I ever did. So for me, as somebody that really thought Thanos was one of the great villains of all time in Infinity War and still does, I didn't feel satisfied by how they handled Thanos in this movie. So that's how I viewed it. Now, and then we talked about Thor. We talked about Hulk. Both of us, Josiah and I, both don't really care for how, again, in the beginning, Thor was hilarious. Who doesn't want to see a fat Thor talking shit on a Fortnite with some 12-year-old on Fortnite telling him to kick? Like, who doesn't want to see that? It's the greatest thing ever. I was dying. It's like, this is amazing.
Yep.
But at some point I wanted to see Thor.
Mhm.
And same with Hulk. Hulk not being able to redeem himself in EndGame after what happened with him in Infinity War. Now, let me reverse a little bit here. So Infinity War, we're watching Infinity War for the first time. We see the Hulk come in. We see Thanos just beat him down like he is nothing. And as the audience, we're going, oh shit, wow. And they set the right tone. Thanos continued to be the ultimate badass, and that's cool. But we wanted to see the Hulk come in there and get his revenge on or redeem himself against Thanos, and we didn't see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So again, I found the stuff with the Hulk funny as hell. I thought it was hilarious when he was taking selfies. It was really funny. It was entertaining. But at some point, let's get past the jokey stuff and let's get into some serious business. So your quick general thoughts real quick, and then I'll get back to super chats on everything, just everything on the film. And just Josiah is our resident Marvel fanboy, by the way, MCU fanboy. He loves it.
Yeah, so I enjoyed the movie as a whole a lot more this time around. I recognize that there's lots of issues with the film. I don't know. This is going to be probably one of the hardest films for me to actually give a solid rating to, just because there's so much I love in this film, and at the same time, there's a lot of things that I have issues with it in this film creatively. I think that there was a lot of missed opportunities that they had. Jeremy kind of mentioned some of them already. Like we totally should have had a Hulk and Thanos rematch. That was a big miss, I think, in this film. But and then Hulk, Thor should have had some sort of redemption at the end. But at the end of the day, you can kind of just see how, while this does tie off a lot of the whole MCU up to this point, it does kind of open up where they're going into the future as well, with their woke MCU pretty much. And that's just, it's sad that is in the movie, but at the same time, I'm glad that they perfectly tied off Iron Man and Captain America's stories as well. So
totally true on that. All right, Monochrome Mandalorian, sup y'all. To me, Bucky should have gotten the shield, but hopefully they have some more super soldier serum lying around, or Cap will be underwhelming. Yeah, I agree with that. I didn't mind what happened, but I thought that Bucky should have gotten it. So let's see. Jorge says Thanos became a paradoxical idiot in this movie. He heard from himself, the work is done. All he had to do was let time run its natural course, and that didn't happen. That's right. That's a good point. It's a good point. The Oscar-nominated a-hole. That is America's ass. That was pretty damn funny. That was pretty damn funny right there. And shout out to Cap for cussing, man. Character development, man. I mean, Cap was just doing a lot of cussing, and that was funny as hell. So, so he definitely some character development there. Grant, best character arcs in the movie: Iron Man, Black Widow, Captain America. Honorable mention to Ant-Man. Worst character arc: Thor, Thanos, and Hulk. Agree with you completely on that. My favorite part of the movie overall was Cap. I love Cap. I thought they did a great job with Cap, so I'm totally okay with that. Let's see. Ken Stew says, I swear Thor reminded me of Weekend at Bernie's. Yes, that is awesome right there. Well,
Jack, interject with something real quick. I just thought this. If they do bring back Hulk and Thor sometime down the line and stuff, and they kind of bring them back to how awesome they were before this movie, then I will be willing to kind of forgive what they do with them in this movie. If they do bring them back to kind of their badass selves again. So that's just kind of a side note right there. I'd be able to definitely have more forgiveness for how they handled them in this movie, but if this is the end of these characters and this is how they ended them, I'm not going to be happy about that at all.
Yep. And yes, Nebula was amazing, Otis, because Karen Gillian is awesome, and Nebula is a great character. A little too much. She's a little too aggressive in the first, when we first see her in Guardians, but she tones it down a little bit, and I think Nebula is an awesome character.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Where are we at? Wolfman Jack says, oh, got that one. Wait, no, hang on. I was kind of confused as to why Bucky told Falcon to talk to old man Steve. Steve and Sam were never really that close. Bucky has known Steve since childhood. Shouldn't he be the new Captain America? I agree with that. Like, you know, when Bucky told Falcon, like, you know, nodded, it's almost like he knew. But, like, why would he know? How would he know? Because it's kind of been implied that Bucky would be the new Captain America at some point. So that just felt really weird, you know? So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of have mixed feelings on that. I can kind of see how like Steve Rogers kind of, you know, wanted to pass it off to Sam rather than Bucky, because Bucky's been through a lot of crap, and I can kind of see how maybe he didn't want to pass that burden on to Bucky. And I can kind of see how, like, especially Sam being kind of like a soldier and all of that stuff, how it would kind of go to him. But at the same time, like, I don't know what they're going to be doing with this, because there's apparently going to be a series on Disney Plus that's focused on these two characters. So that'll be weird to see how that they're going to handle that. But it's going to be like about like Falcon and Winter Soldier. So that'll be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But I can kind of see how Bucky kind of deserved it too. But I didn't have a problem with what they did with that. So
K-Dot's Sanctum says, shout out to weird plot armor when Thanos dropped like 20 missiles on the Avengers headquarters. Only Hulk and Thor should survive that. Shout out to plot armor. Yeah, I give you that. That was definitely some interesting plot armor for sure. Clark, let's see, Resident Evil 3 or Resident Evil Reflect, no, R3E, I'm sorry, I got dyslexic there. Reflect, Review, React, and Express. What a hell of a name. All right, Clark Prasad, R3E : Reflect, Review, React, and Express. That's a hell of a name. My God.
wow.
From India, any view of clanking sound in the end. What? I don't understand.
Oh, did you not stay to the very end of the movie?
Well, at the very end, yeah, but not like told me there's no post-credit scenes though.
Yeah, but after basically all it was at the very end, you know, after all the credits rolled, you hear like clinking, like armor, like somebody like banging out armor or something.
Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't hear that.
I think it was just like a final nod to Iron Man and Tony Stark making his armor back in the cave in the very first Iron Man.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what that was. So.
Okay. I had to piss. So as soon as the thing ended, I'm like, get the F out of my way because I got to pee. Because I was not having another Force Awakens moment. During the Force Awakens, I started feeling it in like the first hour. And I was like, oh, fuck. I did not wait this long to get up and pee at any moment in this movie. So I was like, I'm gonna man it. I'm gonna man up. Okay. And then it got to the point where like Rey and Kylo were fighting in the snow, and that's when I thought Luke Skywalker was going to show up. I thought Luke was going to show up at that moment. I'm like, at that point, I was almost in tears. I think it wasn't even tears. I think it was piss coming out of my eyes because I was holding it so hard. I was like, oh my God, this is bad. This is bad. You know, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm really trying, and I'm like, I am not going. I will piss in my pants before I miss the return of Luke Skywalker. So I'm in Orlando, Florida at the AMC at Universal Studios. I am dying, okay? And then you want to know what really pissed me off? Luke didn't even show up. Not in that scene. I'm like, bro, are you kidding me right now? Luke didn't even show up.
So, literally just shows up for 2 seconds.
Oh, so anyway, I stayed to the end. I stood up. And then I fell down, and I don't mean like I fell down, but I had to kneel back down. And I'm not kidding. I am not kidding right now. I had to crawl to the bathroom.
Are you serious?
In this sea of people.
Oh my God.
And I was trying to keep myself kind of elevated just a little bit. You know what I mean? Like I was trying. Like here's how I was walking like this, and I'm like, I mean, it was so bad. And
I would pay so much money to see that. Oh,
and there's this, and of course, there's this is the biggest night ever. There's people everywhere, So there were so many people. Luckily, it wasn't like people weren't really paying attention. Maybe they thought I was drunk. I don't know,
right.
but. Then I go in there and I could barely stand up to pee, and the whole time I'm thinking, "You motherfuckers! I thought Luke was going to show up in the forest when they're fighting. Anyway, that's beside the point. All I'm saying is I was ready for this. I had to go pee as soon as this movie was over with. That's all I'm saying.
You need to man up your bladder a little bit. That's what you need to do.
All right. Apex says Infinity War equals Empire Strikes Back to me. Is Endgame the Return of Jedi of the MCU? I think Return of the Jedi is a lot better than Endgame. I would agree with you that Infinity War is an Empire Strikes Back for sure. But yeah, Empire. I will get Infinity War is definitely an Empire Strikes Back level for me. Endgame, I think Return of the Jedi does a much better job of closing out the end of the original trilogy than Endgame does the MCU, but it does do a good job. It just leaves so many problems out there. So what do you think, Josiah?
I mean, yeah, as an MCU fan, honestly, I thought I liked what they did with Endgame. And it just resonated with me more than Return of the Jedi did. I mean, honestly, to be completely honest, the way that they ended Cap and Iron Man stories, I'm happy with that. If like those characters have been here since the very beginning, those are the most important characters in this story. And the way that they ended them was so beautifully. And the thing is that like Endgame has a lot of problems, but I think they do a pretty good job of making it a love letter to the past 11 years of the MCU. It's a messy love letter, but it's still a pretty good love letter, I think. So
yeah, and I have seen some people say like the Endgame is the Last Jedi. No. Not even close. There are some problems, but it's not even close. So, Who Flung Poo says Bree commits diversity grand larceny. Get it? Who Flung Poo? It's been a while since you were here. Glad to have you back. Monochrome Mandalorian. One thing I don't get: putting all the stones back supposedly mended the timeline, but they still killed a past version of Thanos. So where does this leave Infinity War? Plot hole? Yeah. I mean, I've got to really, like I said, I really want to see this movie again to really kind of grasp everything, because there's a ton of plot holes. And again, there's always going to be plot holes when you deal with time travel. There just always is. There's always is. But I think that's a plot hole. I got to think about all the moving parts to that. There's a lot of it. But
yeah, basically, the way that they explained it in the movie was, there's like the past self and then the future self, and it doesn't like mess up what happened in the past when you interact with it and stuff necessarily. So like past Thanos coming to the future, they kill him, but it doesn't really change where they're at in that moment and stuff necessarily.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, time travel is always kind of a complicated thing whenever you're messing around with that, but yeah.
Yep. For sure. Tim Lockhead, heroes are role models greater than an average person, i.e. something to aspire to. Thor is a hero of heroes, greater than the average hero. I loved Hawkeye, Black Widow part, and comparatively, Thor would not be a broken slob. Yeah, I mean, he wouldn't be, but I get it. There's you can look at this from multiple perspectives. We had someone talk about earlier, like it's about post-traumatic, I mean, Thor, like what Thor went through and what he felt responsible for.
Yeah.
That's like unprecedented type of stuff. You know what I mean?
I mean, so yeah, Thor was totally made out to be the one that was going to take out Thanos. He had Stormbreaker made. He could have just killed Thanos there. He was at his mercy pretty much. Like, and then Thor just has that much weight on his. I mean, think about it. Like, the snap is probably the most devastating thing we've ever seen in movie history. Like, they wiped out like half the universe. Yeah. I don't think there's anything that's ever been quite that level of devastating. And when you have that many people's lives on your shoulders like that, I can see how he would end up where he was at, especially being, an Asgardian king, an Avenger. and all that stuff. So I get where he ended up at the beginning of the movie. I just didn't like how they carried him through the entire movie that way. So
Right. And I gotta say, guys, it's been about a week since I live stream. I really appreciate all of the support through super chats and everything like that. It really means a lot. I really do appreciate it. We had a lot to get caught up to, but thank you so much. If you haven't been watching some of my videos on my personal channel, subscribe to D-Day Cobra, DDAYCOBRA, and I've been talking about I really want to start doing ghost hunting vlogs for either my personal channel or Geeks and Gamers. And that's a pretty big project for us to try to tackle. And I'm not talking about going to necessarily like tourist attractions. I'm talking about going to actual like legit places that other people haven't really gone a lot. Places you've heard of, but not like a tourist attraction. Tourist attractions are boring to me. I want to go to like a legit place. But in order to do that, in order for me to bring my crew who's spread out all over the country, I'm thinking about doing some type of maybe, project where we raise money to make that happen. So I don't know. It's going to be a huge project. It's something I've never really been into before until I got and I honestly, full disclosure, I don't believe in ghosts, but I want to be proven wrong. Josiah, you into this stuff at all?
I am, but it's probably from a little bit of a different perspective than some people have. Like, I don't necessarily believe in ghosts. I believe in demons and angels, and I believe that those are very real things, very spiritual things. And so that's whenever I hear ghost stories and things, I can see that some of that stuff might be real, but it's probably more of a demonic presence, if anything. So
yeah. All right. So that's on the table. I just want to go ahead and let you guys know about that if you haven't seen that over my personal
time. So
yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Ghost hunting, gaming, movie reviews sounds familiar to every channel. You ain't been ghost hunting with the Geeks and Gamers crew, bro. Okay, you ain't been ghost hunting with the Geeks and Gamers crew. That's all I'm saying. All right, so let me get back to this really quick. Legend Seeker, the Whammon scene could have worked if Black Widow headed the scene. She deserved more attention than she got. 100% agree. 100% agree. And of course, they're not gonna, all they're gonna say is, "Oh, they're just highlighting Black Widow. The alt-right now is Black." No, we're highlighting a good character, and we're not alt-right. You jack fucks. All right. Yep. Anyway, stupid people, but I agree with you. My GA community, EndGame is better than The Last Jedi. It is. That's not saying a lot, but it is. SoFla Productions, big super chat. Thank you so much. So maybe you can get my name right this time. Well, it's SoFla. So is it Florida? Because it's SOFLA. All right. And FLA is usually abbreviated for Florida. So is it Southern Florida? SoFla? So Florida Productions? I don't know. But so maybe you can get my name right this time, LOL. I kind of disagree with you on EndGame. The story was good. We closed chapters on main characters. As Tessa being queen, that's Thor's continuing story. By the way, come to Florida SuperCon. So I think I'm right. So Southern Florida Productions? Come to Florida SuperCon. When is Florida SuperCon? Send me an email. I have been invited to a Hawaii convention, which is awesome.
Oh, wow.
I've never been to Hawaii.
Yeah.
I'm being invited to a lot of things right now. So if there's things you want to see Geeks and Gamers representing, just tell the convention to contact us. Jeremy at geeksandgamers.com. There's 1,000 ways you can contact us. So anyway, I would love to. All right. Let me see. And thank you for the super chat. So I'm going to go and think that's Southern Florida Productions. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'll click on your channel and see. All right, Tech Guy. How Star-Lord was emasculated and devalued upset me. He definitely was. He's been they've been crapping on Star-Lord lately in these movies, man. They really have. I really don't understand it. Huh. Maybe it's because he's played by a straight white male Christian.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
they really have been tearing down Star-Lord, though, and I really don't understand it. All right. Wolfman Jack, unless Guardians of the Galaxy has Thor back in shape, I won't watch it. I don't need another movie with fat slob Thor. One was painful enough. Yeah, I agree with that. Darth Vader, I have to say I enjoyed EndGame, but it's nowhere near as great as Infinity War was. But I enjoyed the conclusion of the Marvel's franchise. You know what? That's a good way to look at it because I do enjoy it as a conclusion to the last 11 years. But I can't help but see how badly it sets up the next era. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest problem for me. Let's see. Kalias Traveler says, "Hey Jeremy, you are popping my super chat cherry. What do you think about what they did to Black Panther? They turned him into a running back." First of all, thank you for allowing me to pop your super chat cherry. And you know, that's a shocking thing about Black Panther in the movie. Black Panther, 1 point, whatever, 3-4 billion. I can't remember what it did. And they didn't really do anything with him.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't. I mean, they basically turned him into, you know, like Barry Sanders or something, man. Somebody said Deion Sanders, but Deion wasn't a running back. But Deion is one of the GOATs, that's for sure. Yeah, they really didn't do much with Black Panther, which really shocks me. What do you think about that, Josiah? You've seen it twice now.
Yeah. I mean, he pretty much just showed up at the end and ran with the gauntlet for a minute. But I thought it was cool. I thought that they gave him a little bit of a moment in there because I actually am a big fan of Black Panther as a character. But you know, they had to make time for Captain Marvel in this movie, so that's probably why he was a small part. But
yeah, that's pretty funny though. Turned him into a running back. Good stuff right there. William for the $1 super chat. Thank you so much. Let's see. Southern Florida Productions. I'm going to go with that one. It says, "Love you, bro. Suck it up." No problem, man. I need to know. Like, I got to figure out what. I wish I could find that if they're still in the chat. If they comment, I'm going to click on their name and see. I don't see them. They're probably still not here. But thank you for the support. I really appreciate that. All right, William 5849. It showed searching when Quill was in the ship. I don't know what in that.
Gamora. When it showed like Gamora on Peter Quill's screen, and he was like searching for her.
Oh yeah. That's right. That was a good funny moment too. By the way, God, man, like him and Thor is magic. It really is. It really is. My God, man, we're so far behind. Beats of Angels Interstellar has a lot of real quantum theories. Yeah, I mean it's you know, Kip Thorne is one of the most well-known physicists in the world, and he was heavily involved with the science aspect of that movie. So and it actually helped break through some scientific discoveries.
Yeah,
there you go.
Incredible.
There you go. What you got on that one, huh? Yeah. Interstellar.
I'm sure EndGame will further some scientific studies too in some way.
William 5849, you sent 2 super chats talking about Quill's ship showed searching for Gamora after the battle. So I don't know if you meant to send 2. Well, it's not a duplicate necessarily, so you did send 2 different ones. So thank you for the support. Jason Berry, Star-Lord and Thor were tracking Gamora. Oh, there we go. So everybody's telling me now. All right. I got it. Inside the mainframe. Imagine how much better if Hulk's snap would have separated Hulk from Banner as a result, and the uncontrolled Hulk beat the shit out of Thanos. Again, I don't understand why this didn't happen. Yeah. Okay, hang on. All right, I see. Hang on, I'm looking for is it Southern Florida? I see you in the chat, so you got to tell me. Is it Southern Florida? All right, what the fuck is your name? That's how I talk to people that send me $70 a super chat. What the fuck is your name? I'm such a respectable host here on YouTube, aren't I? I'm such a nice guy. Nice guy. Nice guy, Jeremy. Nice guy, D-Day.
I see him popping up in the chat.
I'm in Miami, so it is Southern Florida Productions. I knew it. What's up? My parents might be brother and sister. I don't know. I'm from Alabama, but I knew it was Southern Florida. I knew it. What's up? At least I don't have 3 eyes. Bitches. All right. Anyway. All right. All these people, man. Like, look, seriously, if I talk shit to you, it means I like you. Like Josiah is a very good person. He's a very good person with good morals. He's a Christian guy, and I tell him to go fuck himself every day. And I know that he doesn't talk like that, but I like Josiah. So that's how I talk to Josiah. When I was at Star Wars Celebration, I did a live stream. And I told people, I was like, if you see me and you're a fan, if you're a supporter, just walk up and say, Jeremy, go fuck yourself. And I'll know that you're a fan because none of these SJWs will come up to me and say that.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
they don't have balls for that.
So I'm walking around. And this vendor that was there, he told somebody, he's like, hey, somebody was wearing a Geeks and Gamers shirt. And he's like, dude, are you here with Jeremy? He goes, I mean, I saw Jeremy a while back. So they found me and they said, dude, there's a vendor that wants to talk to you. So I'm walking by and all of a sudden this vendor says, hey, Jeremy, go fuck yourself. And I was like, hell yeah, man. Shook his hand. You know, I was like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. I appreciate that.
That's
you know, so again, if I talk junk to you, it's only because I like you, or you talked it to me, and so I'm gonna press you. I'm gonna press you hard, and either you're gonna be able to take it or you're gonna not be able to take it. So it is what it is. All right, sorry, I got off on a tangent there. Zeke said, I love you big dummy. Thank you. All right. Southern Florida Productions. Damn. That's what I do. Live streaming and audio video production here in Miami. I want to know more about what you got going on, man. I mean, I've only been to Miami once. I'm actually going to Miami next week, but it's only because my family is forcing me to take a vacation. But I didn't even know where we're going. You know, like my wife tells me, she's like, hey, you know, we're going, you know, on a trip. And I'm like, where? And I was like, I need internet. And I was like, cause you know, I'm going to work the whole time. I'm not taking time off work. So I've already talked to Josiah and Odin. I'm like, guys, I'm going to be out of town and might be off the grid a little bit. So I need you guys to help me out with the channel. But I said, I'm paying for the strongest internet possible. So we'll see. Because I'm not interested in taking time off right now. The channel's doing too good. The website's doing too good. We have too many moving parts. I don't have time to go on vacation. So I'm going on a working vacation that I'm being forced into by my family. So I know it's a tough life. I know. I get it. All right. David Hervey says Thor is going to be in the next Guardians movie. They are going to be searching for Gamora at the end of EndGame. Quill was looking for her on his computer. Okay. All right. I was too caught up in the Thor Star-Lord comedy to even pay attention to that. So
yeah, I don't think that's been confirmed or anything, but hopefully that's what they do. So I don't think they've released any plot details for Guardians of the Galaxy 3 yet. But
yeah, and that's true because we don't know that for sure. I think that's been heavily implied, and I think that would be fantastic. But again, it has not been confirmed, but it's been heavily implied. Toy Fiend, only way Cap Marvel works is make her a villain. You know, I don't think that's going to happen, and that's kind of the same logic that would have worked in like the WWE with Roman Reigns. If we have any wrestling fans watching, you know, you have Roman Reigns, who was this guy that they just wanted to elevate into stardom and be the good guy. And it was obvious that if you're listening to your audience, if you turned Roman Reigns into a heel, it would have elevated his standing. He would have been awesome at that, but they never listened. Captain Whammon would be a great villain, but they're never going to do that. They're never going to do it. It's not going to happen. So, unfortunately, Proper Jenny says Brie was barely in the movie. I want a refund. Oh man. Hey, now, Josiah, if you need to run, let me know because I know you've been at work. So, am I keeping you too long?
I'm probably gonna bounce in a little bit actually because yeah, I got some family stuff I got to take care of. So
okay, all right. I mean, how much longer you want to hang?
Honestly, I might just bounce right now. Actually.
Okay. All right, well, guys, comment in the chat, Josiah, with your channel. Leave a link, and everybody go support Josiah Rises. He is also the manager of the Geeks and Gamers YouTube channel. He helps me out big time over here. And Josiah's been with me for like 5 years. If he has not gave up on me at this point, I don't think he's ever going to.
Nope.
If you deal with me for 5 years, you really are a good Christian. So. So drop that link, buddy, and tell everybody what you want to say as you sail off into the sunset. So.
I just dropped my link. Guys, I am going to be streaming on my channel tomorrow. We'll be talking more about Avengers Endgame and some other things like that. So yeah, I appreciate all of your support. Thanks for having me on, Jeremy. It was a lot of fun talking more in depth about the movie with you. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm sure we'll have plenty of conversations in the future about this movie as well. So
absolutely, man. Have a good night, buddy.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye. All right. So Johnny says the big Thorbowski. Yeah, I that was the joke I missed too, right there. So this is why I like seeing movies a second time when it's highly anticipated. General Spawn says, "Will it make 3 billion? It was an okay movie." Man, I'm definitely in the. I mean, it's definitely. I think it's going to make 1 billion in the first weekend, which is insane. But I don't. I'm still not thinking. I don't know, man. 3 billion is a lot. It's gonna. It can. It can. But I'm still sitting at 2.5 billion. 2.5 billion. All right. General Spawn. Oh, got that one. Echo Base Network just got back from a second viewing. Wish Tony would have lived. If Cap gave Bucky the shield, it would have been a good road to redemption for Bucky. 100% agree with that. Thunder Robots. If the past Thanos was killed in the future and the snap ever happened. Also, Cap did pretend to not lift the hammer in Age of Ultron. Great callback. 100% great callback. Love it. I love that moment so much. It was such a great moment. Monochrome Mandalorian, you weakling. I drank a large Coke at the premiere theater and never had to pee until like an hour after. Pathetic. It was pathetic. I agree. Darth Who. There's a Doctor Who phrase that might perfectly sum up Endgame. Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. That's about accurate, to be honest with you. That's definitely about accurate. Echo Base Network, will Thor be in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 now? And do you think he will be fat? I think if he is in it, which we don't know for sure, I think he will be. And I do believe that he will be fat maybe for like the first moment we see him. Maybe they'll do a montage. A montage. Even Rocky had a montage. If you know where that's from, we're friends. We're friends. So let me see who knows that first. Who's going to know where that song came from first? Who's going to know? Wait, but yes, I do think he will be in it. He won't be fat for long. I'm waiting. Yes. Team America World Police. I think it's called Zeke is how your name is. Not Luke Skywalker came in close to, but now everybody is. Even Rocky had a montage. So good. Chris says Fat Thor will be huge at Comic-Cons for masculine men. That'll be the funniest cosplay coming. And why did Nebula need to call Ant-Man and Gamora call Quill idiots? Funny but messed up at the same time. Yes, and we've kind of covered the fact that that there was a lot of that going on. As far as the Fat Thor, that is definitely going to be a cosplay favorite. There's no doubt about that. There's absolutely no doubt. Echo Base Network, you see our giveaway vid in honor of Geeks and Gamers. I didn't, Nicholas, and I am sorry. Go subscribe to Echo Base Network. I will watch that as soon as this live stream ends, my friend. I will. I am so sorry I have not gotten around to that yet. Jack Random, 2 sagas ended today, MCU and Saul Jeremy's hair. Oh man, that video, you guys went crazy over that video. That was funny. Cool man 229, got to push the black man aside for the white girl Brie. Absolutely. Titus Muller, were you stunned that Fury didn't even have a line? I was absolutely floored that Fury didn't even have a line. I couldn't believe it. The rise of Chulo. Infinity War flew high like an eagle. Endgame was like dry humping your ex-girlfriend. You get some pleasure, but mostly chafing. At least that's what Edward Coleman told me. Yeah, I mean, again, I think Infinity War is an all-timer. I think Endgame will ultimately be time will not be friendly to Endgame. I don't think it's going to be The Last Jedi or anything like that, but it's definitely the more I think about it, the more disappointed I am, unfortunately, and that is sad. But I'm going to try to go see it again tomorrow and get a final verdict for you guys. Titus Muller, let's see. A non-vignette in this film, Star-Lord's return to Earth. Maybe there were noteworthy scenes we'll see in Guardians of the Galaxy 3 that happened before the ship scene with Thor. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't feel like between Infinity War and Endgame, I think that Star-Lord has been completely just disrespected on a major level. Like, he's been treated like crap. Now, go back to Infinity War, though. I will say, like, I did love the interactions with him and Thor. I did. I thought those were fantastic. But overall, I didn't like how Star-Lord was in Infinity War, and I didn't like what we saw from him in Endgame. I hated the stuff with him and Gamora. in Infinity War. I absolutely hated it. I just, and I love Star-Lord. I love Chris Pratt, but I think he's been completely disrespected in both of these films. That guy with the reactions, EndGame missed the opportunity to have Luis recap everything that's happened in the last 10 years of the MCU. That would have been amazing. That would have been amazing, actually. I agree with you on that. And nice avatar with the Ahsoka poster, which is right back there. That's true. That's very true. That would have been fantastic. Richard Wetfuss said, I'm bummed Cap didn't meet the skull again when he returned the Soul Stone. Yeah, I mean, I loved everything for Cap. I'm very happy with Cap and everything that happened with him in the movie. I thought he got everything he deserved as one of my favorite characters of all time. So a great close off for that. But I understand where you're coming from, Richard. The Phantom Menace, I've seen 7 out of all the Marvel movies. Sad, right? Really? Only 7? Man, yeah, you got to change that, bro. You got to change that. They're not all great. They're not all great, but you know, they're it's worth seeing all of them for sure. Tim Lockhead, Cap wielding. I can't ever say how Thor's hammer was awesome, but they dropped the ball a bit because Cap should have been transformed, buffed a bit, and got pseudo Asgardian armor. Yeah, that whole scene was awesome. That whole scene was awesome. So I have no issue. I didn't like that Joe Biden played Cap at the Okay, that's good. That's good. I didn't like that Joe Biden played Cap at the end. That earns a standing ovation right there. Alex says, why do we use the term woke and soy? So woke is this thing that started getting trending on social media, and it was, I think the SJWs kind of started using it, and now we're using it against them. And soy is a whole different ball game. EVS is the expert on the soy term. That's for sure. So Mjolnir. Okay, Mjolnir. Okay, got it. Let's see. Hide your kids from that Biden. Real quick, I'll show you guys something really quick here. Let me find it. Everybody, this has been like a big thing for everybody. So I'll show you guys really quick since everybody's talking about this. So I'll mute it, but everybody thinks I don't have hair, okay? I have hair, okay? Everybody thinks I don't have hair. So before we end it, let's see. Before we end, I'll show you guys. I actually do have hair. Look at there. I do have hair. Look at that. Jeremy has hair, everybody. I know it's breaking news. Breaking news. Look at there. Oh, I actually have hair. Can you believe it? Oh, I know it. I know it. All right, there you have it. So, I know it's all over. It's a wig. It's what everybody said. Anyway, all right, see, there it is. There it is. There it is. See it sticking out. See it sticking out like that. You want it like that? That's terrible. That's terrible. Can't do that. All right. Let's see. Richard says, where do I get a cap that has hair interior too? Above average peen and hair. Kevin J says, Star-Lord is going to hook up with a female Thor in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Man. We're going to wrap this up. So this has been a really fun discussion. I'm going to go see EndGame hopefully tomorrow again. I'm going to try. I can't guarantee, but Cass, you're here. You want an update? All right, I'll give you guys a final thoughts. If you're just joining, I'll give you my final thoughts on EndGame really quick. Titus Muller says, is there a chance episode 9 could be better than EndGame? Whew. Damn. That's a good question, man. That's a good question. Is there a chance episode 9 could be better than EndGame? I don't think so. I don't. I think that there's too many good moments in EndGame, and there's too many ramifications. I'm gonna say absolutely not. I don't think episode 9 can be better. I absolutely don't. No. Okay, so real quick, here are my thoughts on EndGame after seeing it one time. I enjoyed it. Initially, but I had a lot of problems. I thought it was all over the place. Narratively, time travel always gets a little messy. We can start out from the moment the movie starts when we have Hawkeye with his family. An incredibly emotional scene. We all knew what was going to happen in that moment. But as soon as that scene ends, it kind of starts in with this like Guardians of the Galaxy style music, and Tony drops a joke, and I just felt like it was weird. It didn't feel right for me. You know what I mean? Like, that was really weird. Obviously, we move into the movie. You get the 5-year jump. Again, kind of shocked me because I'm like, what? Overall, the movie is kind of all over the place. Captain America's arc is fantastic. Tony Stark's arc is fantastic. They are absolutely amazing. I love Steve Rogers. I love Chris Evans' portrayal of this, and I thought it was perfect. I think that Tony Stark's arc from going back to the beginning of Iron Man and starting the MCU all the way to the end of Endgame, I think it's one of the all-time great arcs in the history of cinema. I really hated what happened to Black Widow, but I thought it was beautifully executed. I thought it was wonderful. Overall, there was a lot of good in this movie. My biggest single problem with this movie is Thanos. I hated what happened with Thanos because, like I said, I wanted post-Infinity War Thanos to be on that battlefield in the end when he's there, thinking and believing about his greatest triumph. And then all of a sudden, he sees that his greatest triumph actually becomes his greatest failure. And everything that he accomplished was undone by the Avengers. We didn't get that, and that pissed me off. It pissed me off big time. And I felt that there was weight missing to the final battle because we had 2014 Thanos, and he had no relationship with these characters, and there was just, it didn't feel right to me. Thanos is one of the greatest villains of all time. And I felt that it just didn't work. It didn't work for the weight that this needed. It just didn't work. I also, again, when we're introduced to Thor, I laughed. I thought it was hilarious. Like I'm sure all of you did in the beginning. I loved Thor in terms of he was hilarious. And again, Thor getting on freaking Xbox Live or whatever it was to talk shit to some Fortnite kid. How can you not laugh at that? Amazingly hilarious. But at some point in a movie where Tony Stark can go back in time and talk to his dad, in a movie where Captain America can go back in time and fight himself, you can't get me some Thor getting his muscles back and being real Thor and being a man's man. You can't do something magical to make this happen. You're going to continue to let him be the Pillsbury Doughboy? Come on. I just, at some point that ran out, that theme, that hilarious theme ran out. They overdid it. Again, here's another problem. Hulk. Again, I enjoyed Hulk in the beginning part. I thought it was funny. I thought it was hilarious. But at some point, we have to go back to Infinity War. You had Thanos beat the living shit out of the Hulk like we've never seen, to set a tone, and you set the right tone, and you did the right thing, and you carried out that tone throughout the entire movie. We were all like, holy shit, Thanos means business. That's fine. But he should have gotten his opportunity to redeem himself in this movie, yet he was just like Starbucks Hulk. It's again, man, you gave us fan service, but I feel like you gave us misplaced fan service. The stuff with Tony and his dad, while nice and cool, unnecessary. The stuff with Cap seeing Peggy at the same time that Tony sees Howard, again, nice, unnecessary, but you can't give me Hulk. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't give me Hulk redeeming himself. He's the Hulk, for crying out loud. He's the Hulk. So misplaced fan service, a lot of it. And fan service is not necessarily bad, but there's misplaced fan service. Now, I didn't like that Thor turned everything over to Valkyrie, and I do enjoy Tessa Thompson as Valkyrie. I think she's fantastic. But again, man, I just thought that could have been done better. Overall, I'm going to go see the movie again. I'm going to go check it out. I will have final thoughts again after I see it one more time. But I do have some pretty big problems with the movie, unfortunately. Where are we at? Echo Base Network, did you hear that Nerdrotic's viewing of EndGame that the theater booed the Rise of Skywalker trailer? I've heard that from several people. When I watched EndGame, when the Rise of Skywalker trailer came on, there was no booing, but I could feel the lack of enthusiasm. People didn't care. People didn't care. You could just feel the people didn't care, which says so much about Star Wars. Richard says Hulk had no arc. Absolutely. Hulk had no arc. He absolutely did not. Preston Woods, who's going to die on Game of Thrones this weekend? Probably a lot of people. I'm expecting a lot of people to die. A lot. My God. And Valkyrie was okay, not amazing. In this movie, I didn't think she was amazing, but in Ragnarok, I thought Valkyrie was amazing. I'm a big fan of Valkyrie and Tessa Thompson as that character. I just wish that they didn't have to give her the easy route to becoming queen. It was really annoying. So, all right, guys. So I'm going to wrap this up. I appreciate the support. This has been a great live stream. The channel is doing phenomenal. Go subscribe to my personal channel, D-Day Cobra, D-D-A-Y-C-O-B-R-A. I'm going to have another Brie Larson video coming to the channel very soon, just to make the SJWs cry, because the more they tell me to not make Brie Larson videos, the more I'm going to make, and there ain't nothing they can do about it. So thank you for all the support. Smash the melee button if you don't mind. Simple request from a simple man. We got a lot of good things coming in the near future for Geeks and Gamers, geeksandgamers.com. Please check out our website. Still working on those forums. We're behind the 8 ball on that big time, and that's my fault. I'm working on that right now. Check out our merch store. We are working on the Geeks and Gamers Ghost Hunting project. I don't know if I'm going to call that Geeks and Ghouls or Ghouls and Ghosts or something like that. We're going to rename the channel to Breeze and Larsons. Whatever. We're having a lot of fun, and I appreciate the support. The support you give me gives me the confidence to continue to be aggressive with our new ideas as we move into the future. So thank you so much. Have a great night. Thank you, and we will talk to you later.